I thought it was a bill that was already passed.
Pascal, you are now rocking.
There's some good news in regards in the world of for the LGBTQ community right now. It looks like the Supreme Court has banned discrimination against the LGBTQ plus community. Tommy Boy, speak on it.
Yeah, there was a ruling yesterday in the Supreme Court that said that employers cannot discriminate against their employees for their sexual orientation or if they are trans, which is a huge step in the right direction. I know the Trump administration was trying to roll back some of those protections, but the Supreme Court came out. They defined sex in Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act as extending to transgendered and homosexual, gay, lesbian, LGBTQ plus. So it's now the law of the land that you cannot discriminate in the workplace against trans individuals or any member of the LGBTQ community based on their sexual orientation or gender.
Now, I think this is really great, obviously, but I didn't know that this didn't even already exist, which is weird to me. This is now a thing, whereas I thought it was already a thing a long time ago. Like I thought it was a bill that was already passed years ago. So this is all very news to me.
There were state laws were around. I think 22 states had laws with comprehensive measures against employment discrimination. Mm-hmm. But up until yesterday, there were 28 U.S. states that lacked comprehensive measures against employment discrimination for members of the LGBTQ plus community. So it's a big day. And they say this is the biggest day for that community since gay marriage became the law of the land. So it's a big deal.
It's huge. I mean, it's fantastic news. I'm very excited about it. I think that's really, really amazing news. But then at the same time, it's like, all right, you did that for the LGBTQ plus community. What about the BLACK community too? What about us? I'm just curious. You're doing this. That's great. That's fantastic news, and I'm very excited. That's huge in the movement. But we also have another problem over here too. So what about that though? Why is that being held? Why is that being held back, or why is that taking so damn slow, taking so damn long? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, in fairness, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 banned this sort of discrimination against African Americans. So,
facts.
That's been on the books since 1964. But you're right. There are obviously more things to take care of now. But for the LGBTQ plus community, it's a big day yesterday.
Yeah.
Can't get fired for being gay anymore or being transgendered.
So it's so weird that before this thing was passed, you could have been working at a Chick-fil-A, came out as gay or came out as non-binary or transgender, and they would have had the right to fire you if they wanted to.
Yep.
That's really weird.
Yeah. There were, I think one of the cases involved, I mean, it would give you an example. I think one of the cases cited was a skydiving instructor who was, they do tandem jumps. Yeah. And a woman, she was sitting in front of this guy, and you're kind of, you're in close quarters when you're doing that tandem jump. Jump.
Hey.
That's a Freudian slip.
Hey.
But yeah, your junk is in close proximity to the other person's junk. But the woman said something along the lines of, "I hope this isn't uncomfortable for you," or something like that. He said, "Oh, don't worry about me. I'm gay. I don't care." And I guess she mentioned that to the owner, and the owner fired him because it said, "You shouldn't be out there telling people you're gay." And he was like, "Well, if I told her I was straight, would you fire me?" So.
Right. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a huge day. Huge day for the community.
Yeah,
once in the blue moon, we'll find a time when a cake bakery can't not make a cake for someone because they're gay. So
see, now I felt like that was something different.
Yeah.
in comparison to somebody being fired for being gay.
Oh, yeah.
Like one thing is
Employment
baking.
rights is
One
huge.
thing is baking a cake for somebody, and I'm not sitting here justifying this at all. But I'm just saying one thing is going, no, I will not bake that cake, right? But then, somebody who's working at said bakery and getting fired because they are gay. There's, you know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of a difference,
Oh, yeah.
but at the same time, I've heard the story about the baking cake thing. That was wild. That was some wild stuff, and that shouldn't even happen. But I didn't know that like a place could literally say, nope, you can't work here anymore, Tom. Why? Oh, because you just came out as non-binary. That's not cool. We can't support that. That's ridiculous, and that's weird to me. Not saying that you are non-binary, Tom, but you know what I'm saying. It's just weird.
But if I was, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Well, then, I would have fired you by now, but now I can't anymore. Damn. I would have fired you. Shoot. Should have got into that fast enough, like, man. Now I could get into
There
trouble.
were some, obviously the news of this is extremely good news, but in the details of it, there's some good news too, because two of the conservative justices on the Supreme Court joined the liberal majority in the decision. Neil Gorsuch, who's a 2017 Trump appointee to the court, voted in favor of the ruling, as did Chief Justice John Roberts, who was a Bush appointee. So this looks like, hopefully has long-term implications for the court, as more cases, will undoubtedly go before them. It looks like, at least on this issue, the gay community has a couple of allies that maybe they didn't know they had on the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Yeah. Things are changing. Mr. Super just said, yeah, Robert slowly keeps moving left, or he's constant and we've been moving right. That's funny. But yeah, it's a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Didn't think that was going to happen, but at the same time, this is something that has been in the works for a while, but it got stopped, if I'm correct. Didn't it get stopped by the Trump administration for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Trump administration, let's see. I don't really have details on that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Do you?
No, that's totally fine. No. It's okay. You don't have to have all the answers all the time, brother. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, I just thought because I thought it was something interesting because I think it was like Obama's the Obama administration tried to get it up off of the ground, but then it got stunted for a while by a Tennessee judge, and then. Obviously, it got resurfaced. They tried to pass that bill, but the Trump administration apparently tried to stop it as well. But then it got, I don't know, but now it's getting passed. So it's like great. That's great news. That's really, really great news.
Yeah. That's. Yeah, I think, okay, well, I found a bit here. It says Trump's administration joined the employers in arguing that Congress did not intend for Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act to protect gay and transgender people when it was passed by law. Gorsuch conceded that point, but said that what mattered was the law's text. So, yeah. But at the same time, Trump also said yesterday, he said Trump called the ruling very powerful and said they've ruled and we live with their decision. Supported by evangelical Christian voters, Trump has taken actions to have undermined gay and transgender rights since taking office in 2017. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds like he was not wanting this to necessarily go that way, but he stands by the way it turned out.
I'm sorry. That's funny as hell. That's funny.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.